16 of the favorite podcast you're listening to right now. And it's Eat, Drink, and Be Scary, where we eat and drink stuff and talk about paranormal things. And today, I'm going to start with what we're eating. And Ryan, what are we eating?
Nuts.
We're eating we're eating a bunch of fucking nuts. And we'll explain why in a little bit.
We got smoked peanuts, chili lime, salted caramel.
He can't stop stuffing them in his mouth.
And toffee peanuts. I did try to find a bag of gummy dicks, but I had to get those by mail. I didn't have time to get them here.
You got a whole roll of nuts, too.
You did. You got
a lot of nuts. We're drinking a beer that's called Dragon Milk White. It's a barrel-aged white stout. I don't know who makes this.
I'm assuming Dragon's Milk.
Well, they make it in Holland, Michigan. By the way, I've been to Holland, Michigan. And it's kind of cool because it actually has little windmills there, and it's on the Great Lake. Anyway, whatever. And first, before we say who we're going to talk about, let's introduce ourselves. I'm here with
Ryan,
Tom,
Tanya,
and hey, I'm Bill. And since I guess we're not doing last names anymore, which is fine, whatever. You guys do what you want to do.
We just make up last names. That's
He's
fun.
too cool for him. I got to be cool too.
You listen to past episodes if you want to see our last names. And today we're going to be talking about Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, hold on. That's Ryan's, who really just wants to rant for 30 minutes about this. And before we start,
Ready to go.
I'm going to give a little bit of history about the
Just
Warrens.
A small caveat. He's already pissed off, and we have yet begun to start talking.
So the reason the Warrens matter is anybody who follows any sort of ghost hunting, or even let's talk about horror movies like The Conjuring and Annabelle and even the Amityville Horror, which we're really going to go into. There was a couple that were involved in that who apparently were the leading whatnots in paranormal investigation. That was Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'll give you a little background to who they are right away. They both. So let's talk about Ed Warren. Ed Warren, he grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which is the same place that Lorraine grew up, or near there. She grew up near there, and he was the son of a police officer. And he said his house was haunted, which of course I think every little kid says their house was haunted. I mean, every little kid thinks that. Lorraine said she was sensitive and she saw people's auras.
Since when, though? When did she start saying that? Because all of my research said that Lorraine was the medium for the two, but never said when that started. When she said, I'm a medium. Because he had an interest in demonology and all that since, his house was haunted since he was a kid and such.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan, I want you to come down for a second.
To Tom's point, I think, so if you listen to the episode with my brother, he started seeing things when he was 4 or 5. He never said he was a medium. He never saw that it was a gift. I don't know, he called it a gift. He didn't know what else to call it, but pardon me, I'm choking on nuts. But he said he started seeing things very young, so I think it's just, I assume if she did see things, it was something that she just...
Sensitive and personal.
Yeah.
Until it's lucrative.
Until she monetized
Until it's lucrative, right.
By the way, I like this Dragon Milk beer.
It's actually pretty good.
It's really good. All right. Why Tanya's dying?
Are you choking on the bullshit?
It's the nuts.
It's all the fucking nuts.
All right. Here we go. Ryan, I want you to listen. I want you to be a good little listener right now.
Goose fraba.
Take a deep breath.
When they met...
In hell.
Connecticut?
Yeah, that's true. I've never been to Bridgeport, Connecticut, so it could be. Ed got his start by painting people's homes. Now, it's not the way you think it would be. He actually sat in front of someone's home, and he painted it on a canvas, but then he would put ghosts in the paintings. Ryan's just shaking his head right now.
I love this whole premise.
I would just have to put my seatbelt on when he starts. Ed would paint people's homes and put ghosts in them, and then he started selling them to the owners. Hey, look, I painted your house, and there's a ghost on it. Would you like to buy it? oh, sure, weird guy, I'll buy this picture. And then after that, he started investigating. From that point, they kind of went nuts and became. Oh my God! Now I'm choking on nuts too.
These nuts are haunted.
These nuts were a bad idea. I think they are haunted nuts.
They're permeating.
So anyway, from there, they became what they claim on their website is they have 10,000 investigations. 10,000 investigations. Now, keep in mind, maybe you can find information on 100 of them. With that, there's very little information about any of these, any sort of research or anything in their findings. A lot of hearsay. We saw this, we saw that. Now you're kind of asking, well, like, why do I know the Warrens? Who are they? Well, again, now we're going to go to the movies.
Popularized lately.
The Conjuring 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Look at his face.
There's Annabelle Origins, and then Annabelle Creation. I don't know, or whatever it is, or maybe I'm getting reversed, which just came out in the theater.
Doll movie, house movie, ghost movie,
and then of course Amityville Horror. So, well, real quickly, I'm going to hand this over to Ryan in a second before he blows a circuit.
Yeah, he's gonna do it.
They got most of the notoriety from the 1970s haunting of Amityville Horror, which became a huge, huge deal, and later was proven to be a hoax. And with that, I'm going to bring Ryan on board,
Is it really Ryan a hoax? Tell me.
Amityville Horror was proven to be a hoax. I don't know how you prove something to be a hoax. How do you prove it?
But it legitimized
when
the
you
Warrens.
Just disprove. But they were the ones who were the ones that said, "Hey, look, this place is haunted."
Through scientific methods.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you Ryan.
Muzzles off.
Ryan, what do you have to say?
Okay, well, they proved that it was a hoax because they said that they sat down and had a bunch of wine and they came up with the story in order to try to make money off the people who died in the house prior.
The Warrens?
Yes.
They had a lot of wine and then admitted this, or they had a lot of wine and then made it up?
No, they had wine and they made it up.
Who'd they tell this to?
Everybody, because they like to fake evidence. I mean, if you get your start by doodling ghost on people's fucking homes and then selling it to them, I mean, that's like those ghost apps that you take now, where you got some bro who goes into Walmart and takes a picture of a little girl from the 1900s behind him, and he's like, "This is the scariest ball pit I've ever seen in my fucking life." Right? I mean, that bugs the shit out of me.
Dude, I think we just got a new business. Let's just start taking random pictures, say, "There's a ghost behind you, but I'll eradicate it for you."
Well, right, but what I'm trying to tell you is if you start your career in a field that there are real victims in, and you're making profit off of bullshit, you're just a bad fucking person.
So, real quick, I want to say, why were they in the Amityville? I have a question. Why were they in the Amityville house in the first place? Because didn't that guy say it was haunted? He made up a story. The guy who...
Let me go exactly to it, because I saved this on purpose.
Well, you can't trust Hollywood's story. I thought that was accurate.
Okay. So... So George and Kathy, they actually took a lie detector test proving that they were innocent, and they allegedly passed, right? And then there was a lot of legal and financial issues which basically prompted everyone to go, they had this motive to create such a bullshit fucking story, right? And the Lutz's former lawyer, he came out and said that they made up the story. And then they got...
being the people who own the house, right?
Yes. Then they got the Warrens involved, and they basically got them in on the fact that they wanted to investigate this bullshit story to want to try to promote both of their careers, because it's easy to write a book about it, and that's exactly what happened. They knew the story was bullshit going into it, and they basically took the misfortune of the home and tried to turn it into monetary gain, and I just don't like that. It frustrates the hell out of me.
Sensationalism.
Exactly. So, yeah.
So that's the one thing, is like the second that was proven that it was a hoax, you'd think That would end everything.
We'll be like, oh, my bad. I'm just a fucking idiot.
But
right?
that's the
But
thing.
that's not what happens.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren read that it was a hoax and then came back
Lorraine.
or Lorraine, not Elizabeth. That's a different person. Came back and said that,
That is a different person.
she's still around.
Congratulations, Tom.
Still hunting ghosts.
Yeah, but I mean, here's another thing, too. I'm so fucking mad, I just lost my train of thought. So he said that he was a self-proclaimed expert demonologist.
Yeah, and by the way, listen, I'm not a doctor of demons or anything, so I don't know how this works.
You can proclaim
But-
yourself one, though, Barry.
You can. That's the
How
thing.
do you do that? Like, how do you become a demonologist?
Exactly. Like, I had interviews with him at the Amityville house over some wine. No, it's bullshit.
In the films, they claim that he's the only recognized demonologist by the Catholic Church.
No, he's not. Every priest would be a demonologist.
Yeah,
because
because they teach them that.
I mean,
exactly.
technically, he could have been a demonologist because,
Just because you read-
ologist just means a subject of study or a branch of knowledge.
Well,
so that
right.
means
But
he's studied.
He's an expert. Like, he
No.
knows everything about
But then
everything
as
that
soon as you
ever
tag
was
on
about everything.
expert,
So Zach Bagans.
that's when
Oh, shut the
things
fuck
get tricky.
Do you know the case about Arnie Johnson?
What?
Arnie Johnson. It was the another Connecticut thing, and Arnie Johnson killed his landlord,
Okay.
and then the Warrens came in and tried to convince a judge that he was possessed by
By high
the
taxes.
devil or demon. Yeah, my rent's too damn high.
It was raised from 400 to 666.
He killed
and I
his
lost
landlord.
my fucking mind.
And the Warren sat in front of a judge and said, he's possessed. And of course, a judge said there's no science behind that. And the younger brother said, well, this isn't cool. Like, why would you say my brother was possessed by a devil? He really was mentally unstable. He needed help. And you guys instead are trying to profit off this and saying he's possessed by a devil. And of course, the judge said, get out of my courtroom. You guys are nuts. And then the haunting in Connecticut, which got turned into a film. That was Ryan shaking a can of nuts. So the haunting in Connecticut, which got made into a film, and the Warrens were actually really upset because they didn't make any money off that movie. By the way, they were very upset, and the family involved in that later kind of came to admit that the Warrens said this exact quote. I'm going to pull this quote up. Hold on, I wrote
Did
it
they
down.
make money off any of the other movies?
Oh, they did. Yeah.
No, like even one's still coming out. Like, is there like any kind of royalty or?
I would have to think so because it's based off the books, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So, the line that they would say is, "You will make money if you go along with this," which, by the way, most people do. Most people make money when they go along with this. And now we're going to talk about the author for a second, Ray Garton. Ray Garton is the guy. Now, first of all, let's just say you want to have somebody write a true story about what you've witnessed. Every one of their books that they had co-authored was written by a horror author, somebody who writes horror movies. And even Ray Garton later on kind of said, when I would do research for all these books, nobody was telling the truth. Nobody was really making sense. And Ed said, just go along with it. Just go along with this, and everything will be fine. And by the way, make it scary. And that's why Ed Garton now he even says, like, don't buy the books. Don't buy the books that I wrote that have Ed and Lorraine involved in them.
Disenfranchised by the co-author.
Yeah, well, really the author.
Yeah, right.
But
That's crazy.
so these guys, clearly they're involved in the whole Annabelle. And here's the other thing is, like, they were very much known for bullying other skeptics. We'll talk about the Annabelle doll.
Oh, that's the thing. Ed was like really outspoken about a self-proclaimed skeptic and how he wanted to have everything open and socialized and filmed, and because he wanted to put it out there. But I guess you're going to say that if you want to be able to hide things behind that, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. I say I'm a skeptic, but
Hide stuff all the
I made a
time.
ghost documentary that I want you to watch. It's called Ghostumentary, and it's on Amazon Prime. Watch it today.
You know,
All right, so anyway,
Annabelle is like the watered down version of Chucky.
well, okay, so we will say one thing: Annabelle is a real doll.
So,
And here's
doesn't mean it's fucking haunted.
here's the thing about
These are a
no,
real
I
can of
know.
peanuts.
They're haunting you.
They are.
Oh my god.
Okay, so the Annabelle doll was this real doll, And
it was a Raggedy Ann doll.
It was a Raggedy Ann
Can't
doll.
even find a creepy doll.
Well,
Right.
but supposedly it was possessed. And this girl brings in a skeptic, or not a skeptic,
A psychic that was paid $22.50 and a can of peanuts. I'm so mad.
I wish you guys could see. I wish you could see the look on Ryan's face right now.
Somebody needs to take a picture and just put this on.
And a psychic comes in and says, "Your doll is possessed by a young girl named Annabelle." So the story goes out a little bit, and then Ed and Lorraine come in and they go, "Oh well, you know what? Nope, that's not it. There's a demon that's controlling the doll.
The demon is Catholic named Annabelle.
And it's, even though they said there is no Annabelle, they kept the name because it was already marketed that way. And they were very much known for bullying other people. If somebody came in and said this, they would come in and change the bullshit and say, no, it's that. And then discredit the other people. Which, of course, they're all lying, but still.
Yeah, but it has to fit a certain narrative. Because as much as they said, the Warrens always said that they weren't, overtly religious in their, because they're going to do it scientifically, not religiously. But all their stuff's based in religion.
The expert demonologist.
Right, based in Catholicism.
Right.
So yeah, everything's through that scope, I guess. The rose-colored Catholicism glasses.
So I don't know how much money they made doing this.
Rosary glasses.
And
The rosary glasses.
I don't know if these guys were going after this for the money, for just to manipulate people because it was fun, for the notoriety. I don't know. But these guys here, they had to have made quite a bit of money. Basically just lying to people and having people believe it.
Oh yeah, but they said it was hard earned through lectures and writing of books that they co-authored apparently.
Well, they
with a horror writer.
But they made their own lectures.
They did. And a lot of their stuff, like, The Conjuring, that's based on a true story. The Conjuring 2, same thing, based on a real story. And Annabelle is based on one. The Nun is not. The Nun is, which, by the way, The Nun, the movie The Nun, should have been so good. That was such a great character.
Well, you know what? I mean, there are stories like the Loudon possessions that happened many moons ago about there were a whole coven of nuns that were possessed and that were allegedly doing possessed nun things. And I think that's where they got some inspiration for that. But I mean, it just frustrates me that, and I'll probably say this 100 more times, that when you claim that you know everything about something that you can't really scientifically test, or you're only taking information from books that other people have read who have literally no, it's like saying I'm an expert in this because I googled it and read a Wikipedia page.
Oh, that's what we live in today.
I know, but it doesn't mean it's the right way to do things.
It's the lucrative way to do things.
The Conjuring 2, which is it takes place in England, in the family, the Hodsons, or whatever their name is, later on came out after the investigation and said they did lie. They lied, like they faked some of the evidence and fooled. They were proud of it. Like, we fooled the Warrens. Haha, look at that. We fooled them. Yes. Like, they faked it. They said they only faked some of the evidence. Why would you fake some and not all? Why would you fake any of it? Listen, if a ghost threw a typewriter across my room right now, I don't think I need to fake anything else. I think I'd have you guys sold that my place was haunted.
Right.
But that's just me.
But if that same thing happened with the Warrens, the typewriter would have said, "Get Lorraine," instead of just being the whole story of the typewriter flying across the room. That's what I'm saying. Like, these people, they would do whatever they could to make sure that the whole story involved them and that they were the reason that everything was happening. And that bugs the shit out of me. Like, did you read any of the stuff on The Conjuring with the Warrens, or the the Amityville Horror with the book that they've written?
I just know. I don't know. I've read some.
It's like they claim that they were the saviors of everyone in that house, when the story was complete bullshit. And
okay, but if somebody says your house is haunted, and you walk in there and suddenly it's not haunted, you could take credit for it.
That's sad. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just, you don't need to be doing that kind of stuff.
It's kind of like when somebody says my car won't start, and you walk up there and you just go and it starts. And they go, "What'd you do?" I go, "I fixed it.
Yeah,
I fixed your car."
I'm a fucking mechanic. I was using the right key. I'm a self-proclaimed expert right key mechanic.
I'm a carburetorologist.
Yeah.
Just gave myself that title. I'm the only one recognized by AMCO, just so you know.
That's so messed up.
I was actually just reading that the nun, which is a demon named Valak, it's a real demon. They made the. Can you imagine that if you're the demon Valak and they portray you as a nun in a movie? I'd be kind of pissed.
Well, okay, perfect example. The Exorcist movies, the main demon in that was Pazuzu, and Pazuzu wasn't even a demon that was considered evil. He was just an ugly motherfucker who basically was apopatropaic in nature, which means he scares away other evil things. But because he was so grotesque and readily available in statue form, that's the demon that they used.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, that's a thing.
But Linda Blair was really ugly when she was a demon, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's called stage makeup.
Oh. Okay.
So I believe that the real possession in St. Louis happened. It was to a little boy and not a little girl, and the case behind that is a very interesting and sad one. But to, like I said, take that story and try to make it more grotesque and more like not even doing your research to get the right demon really bugs me. Like, if you're gonna go out and make a story, you should probably do your research first. You know what I mean? Like,
well, if you're a demonologist and you know all this shit,
you should know that anyway, right? Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm so pissed I can't even think right. Anyway, don't laugh. I need more of these nuts.
You know how much the Lutz from the Amityville Horror? They made so much money from that, and that's the thing that's like so frustrating. The Lutz family made millions off this thing, and they're still profiting today, probably.
Well, that house is still selling for big money when it comes up on the market.
But they don't make money off of it. That's just whoever owns it beforehand.
That's true, but I mean, just the sensationalism of it. No, because of probably what Ryan said. I mean, if the Warrens made that, created and sold it,
it's going to be like when what's his face, douche Baggins.
Oh God.
Zach Bagans.
Zach Douche Baggins.
Zach Baggins.
When he goes to sell that demon house that he made.
Oh yeah, huh? Well, doesn't he?
Okay, wait, hold on.
He has the same thing going in Vegas that the Warrens had, like a haunted museum.
Yeah, but that was like the original idea behind that was.
Didn't he buy Annabelle? I think he bought Annabelle from the Warrens to put it in the Vegas museum. So now it's in Vegas. What if she doesn't stay?
It belongs in a museum.
What was his name? There was a guy on TV that had a bunch of haunted objects, and it was called like the Haunted Collector, and I can't remember his name.
What was that? We'll have to watch it.
I don't even think it's on TV anymore. Let me look it up.
What's his face?
Good old what's his face.
So what did he have all these haunted objects for? He went around and collected them himself?
Yeah. What's his name? Zaphis. Oh yeah, Zaphis. He had. I liked how he did things because he would collect these items basically from. He wouldn't go out and be like, "This is haunted now, and now it's mine, and now I'm going to charge you $10 to see it." If something was really bothering somebody and they thought that it was part of the haunting, they would take it in order to prevent the haunting from occurring. So I think that's a good idea, or at least it's better than like Zach Baggins buying that demon house. And wasn't that the lady who said that Michael Jackson was coming back from the dead and diddling her kids? Like, isn't that the house?
Oh,
Michael Jackson was the demon?
I don't remember it being Michael Jackson.
Said there was a lady who was like...
Was that the one that had the mattress in her living room also?
Yeah.
The mattress theory? Going back to the mattress theory.
Yep, yeah. And she was like, the demon Pazuzu stealing my fucking WIC checks. Like, it really... Like, it fucking makes me mad. Like, Like, it really makes me mad that you're going to say that the soul or the spirit of Michael Jackson is moonwalking into your kid's bedroom to take them to Neverland, but you're just a bad fucking parent and you need money, and you're going to sell that story to, Zach Baggins, I guess.
Well, again, like I was saying earlier, like what is real about that guy? I don't even think there's lenses in those stupid glasses he wears.
I don't know. What really another thing bugs me about him is like every episode he acts like it's the first fucking episode he's ever done, and whenever he sees something that he thinks is scary, he like sends someone else in there to go check it out instead for him.
Well, that's how you know it's real, right? Because if you're honestly scared, you're like, hey, you go check that out.
Yeah. Well, it's like the episode where you see him walk by in this old abandoned house and like this nail on the door scratches his on the arm, like just barely. Like, I don't think there's any blood or anything. And then, like, 40 minutes later into the movie, or the episode, he's like, I've been attacked by a demon, and he's pointing to this barely red mark on his arm. It just, I don't get it. I'm sorry, but...
Well, it's like when he came to the Boise Penitentiary and said that he was possessed by a demon. Leave me alone, I'm possessed by a demon.
Or when he went to the Rubio Woods and said it was like the scariest place he's ever been, and when Ryan and I went there, we were tripping over other people next to the freeway.
Oh, yeah, you mean Bachelor's Grove.
Yeah, Bachelor's Grove, that's right.
I haven't seen that one.
Bachelor's Grove Cemetery.
The Rubio Woods were pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
they're right next to each other, weren't they?
Yeah.
They're right there. Yeah, right off the freeway, though. I mean, really.
Bachelor's Grove is said to be one of the most haunted cemeteries in the whole Chicagoland. And... I've been there many, many times, and every time it's been worthless.
Really? You could sell peanuts to all the people walking in there.
You could. You really could. Yeah.
Like here, all the fucking nuts.
All of the nuts. If you're willing to buy that, buy some of these too.
Yeah, we should just go to the entrance and sell crucifixes.
And holy water, you could do that one.
Yeah, from that scan-gas pond that they have out there.
Holy Dasani water. I blessed it myself.
We'd have to get those really big, like, 80-year-old woman glasses that Zach Baggins wears.
Sally Jesse Raphael glasses.
I don't think there's lenses in those. If you look...
There's no glisten.
I think he wears them just to look smarter or something. He probably put those on one time in a costume shop and goes, oh, those look cool. He's like, really?
Those make you look like a badass.
Well, yeah. When
you look really smart. I do? Oh, where are these, brah?
Well, you don't have like a legitimate fake whorehouse to get you like backed up. You just buy glasses to legitimize yourself.
Well, that because he couldn't wear his Axe body spray bandolier into haunted houses anymore.
Yeah.
And he kept scratching his Ed Hardy shirts on the nails.
God, he must be afflicted. That's so sad.
So then who's douchier, Baggins or the Warrens?
I feel like
together or individually.
Who's douchier? Who's worse?
Well, I think that's a product of the environment. Like, I feel like Zach started from a place that was something that he loved to do, and then he turned into something that was very commercialized. While the Warrens
commercialized it in the first place?
Well, they're just like, I can lie to people and say that it's ghost, and they're going to give me money for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the people of Goodwill. I mean, like, give me all your stuff for free, and I'm going to turn around and sell it for $2. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
So we went to the, I was at the Silver Queen Hotel in Virginia City, Nevada. And that's where the very first...
Don't choke on that giant block of ice that you just shoved in your mouth.
I'm good.
That was where the very first Ghost Adventures was filmed. And I met...
Where? I'm sorry.
Silver Queen in Virginia City.
Oh, okay.
And the two people that were involved in that, the two people that ran that hotel, basically said that, like, they kind of exaggerated. They talk about it, Ghost Adventure, which is on Amazon Prime. These people talk about it. They say that he tripped and fell down a couple flights or a couple steps, and Zach Baggins made it sound like he was pushed and went down a whole flight. And then they said that they found this noose at the end of it, at the end of a hall. We saw the noose. It was a phone cord that looked like somebody just tied off.
Oh, good God.
But anyway, that's what the whole thing. Like, they just exaggerated this whole thing to get there.
Well, I think that if I was on TV and I tripped, I'd blame ghosts too.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. The Warrens didn't even have to have TV. It's easy to sensationalize this stuff on the internet, you know, in the age of Photoshop. But then you didn't even have to Photoshop the stuff. You just find somebody who's going to buy your story and sell it to them. over and over again. Hey, the gullible will just keep being gullible.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't believe in
Ghosts?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Even you and I together have seen some really strange crap.
No, don't get me wrong, too. Yeah, I get it.
But we never went, holy God, that's a demon.
We should make money.
You never went and made a documentary and tried to sell it.
Yeah.
Not yet. You're working. You're working on this. We're working on one now.
Right.
Because
But
Humanity
if you
2
think
also
about it,
watched
though, did at any point we go, we should really make this a demon?
Well, and more to your
Well, we
point.
could have. We had things happen on film that we could have said that was a demon.
Sure, but at least to Ryan's point earlier, we could have done that, but we
Are
never
these-
went in. These are the salted
They're
caramel
not
ones.
those shitty chili
Just
lime
choke
ones?
them down your
The
throat.
chili lime ones are really
Put my
good.
nuts in your mouth. Here we go.
Well,
Have some. Anyway, the problem with that is we never went in there and said, hey, this stuff's happening because we're here now. Or now this stuff's going to stop happening because we're here now.
right. Or we never went, oh, son of a bitch, sorry. We didn't go to anybody's house and go, we think this is going on, and we told them, oh, it's much worse than that. You need to pay us $85.
The consultation was free, but the eradication.
Yeah, it's
Your firstborn.
it's gonna cost you $85 for us to pick up all the pills off the floor and move the mattress out of the bedroom.
Yeah, to take the mattress out of the living room.
That's it. We just walk in. We just say, "Oh, there's a mattress in your living room." We put it in the bedroom where it belongs. The ghost goes away. That's every fucking time. Who doesn't clean up when ghost investigators are coming? And we're gonna film, and they don't clean up.
I've had to step over shitty underwear that was bigger than any human should ever have to wear. I mean, that's exactly my point. Like,
Maybe they're just giving you, like, every time I watch Scooby-Doo, there's got to be a prop to get away from the ghost or monster. So that's why there's a mattress they're laying around.
Okay, so
It's
I
a
gotta-
favor.
So Ryan and Tom, you guys have a paranormal investigation group. You guys have gone to people's homes, choking on a peanut. How many times have you guys gone somewhere that somebody said, we had another group in here and they told us blank?
oh,
Every
lots,
single
yeah.
time. I mean, like, I don't think that... I don't know. I haven't been on the first investigation. Maybe once or twice we were the first people they've asked. But most of the time, we're following up on somebody else who sold them a huge line of bull crap.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, we're here." They were here to get rid of it, and things only made things worse.
Yeah. Or sometimes that costed me $150 or $200.
Yeah, I like to go into a house. First of all, I like to take the people out of the environment and talk to them someplace else, because that puts them at a sense of ease to the point where if you go into... a lot of these people were like, oh, we had this investigator come in and they were shaking the Bible and telling me that there's a demon in the house and that they could get rid of it, but it's going to cost them $100. And I go, that's just bullshit. I mean, if there's something really going on, you don't need... There's plenty of people that will help you through it rather than trying to find some charlatan that's going to cost you money to...
Charlatan's a good word for it, because if it's not manifesting itself as a problem, you don't need to go in there all holy roller.
Right, or just to make people upset. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like really worried because there's something that they...
That's true. That's the part that pisses you off, because like you said, Bill, these people come to us and they're sincere about what they believe and why they believe it. And they really just want to get some validation or answers. And when you go in there, they've just been further confused.
You know, it's kind of like if a mechanic, somebody brings their car in, they go, I think there's something wrong with it. I make no money if I say there's something wrong with it, but the reality is there's probably nothing wrong with it. But I could, if I want to make a little bit of money, I can go, hey, your muffler bearings are out and your blinker fluid's low, and I can refill that for you, but it's going to cost you $500. And it's like, oh, thanks, Mr. Mechanic, you're the best.
Yeah, so the thing that bothers me the most is like what Tom said, where you have these people who are dealing with things that they're afraid of, and it may not be paranormal, it may be xenonormal, which is just something naturally appearing paranormal. But because the paranormal is such a hot thing right now, there are groups out there that will say, yep, you're completely right, it sounds like you have a portal to hell underneath your bed, so we're going to throw 56 crystals underneath there, and we're going to need you to pay us $150, and that's the only way that we'll activate those crystals to get rid of that portal. And it's sad.
Well, right. I mean, like, we were just recently involved in a production where, I mean, it's just a new set of people coming through and doing an investigation on somewhere that's already been investigated, that's already had a judgment passed on it, and they're just reiterating, regurgitating information over and over again. So really, you're just looking to get legitimized by going on the shoulders of the people who came before you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
if there's already a road half trodden and people are going to be believing that, why not just keep extending that road? I mean, shit, how many Amityville horror movies do we need?
well, it's like, what, Fast and the Furious? There's like 46 of those.
Oh, there's a new Chucky coming out.
Oh, god damn it.
I think it's already
Okay.
out. Well, okay, so you kind of touched on something there real quick, Tom, but it's the people who believe.
Well,
So there's the
hold
problem.
on. Here's another thing, too. It happens the other way around, too. Like on Ghostumentary, the first one, where that lady, no matter what you guys found, she was convinced it was haunted and that you were an asshole. Right?
Now, I was an asshole,
Well,
but
What
two out
Yeah.
of three ain't bad, I
but
guess.
still, it was not haunted. We could debunk everything. By the way, I like in The Conjuring when the first investigation they do, they say, "Oh, these are pipes," trying to prove that they're good people. Oh, these are pipes, and when the board in the water and it does the thing that goes on haunted, they're like, "Nope." They're like, "Oh, the Warrens, they're good people." I don't think they ever did that.
Why wouldn't they just kill Chucky with fire? Right? Light him on fire. Sorry.
At that point, light the
just-
whole fucking structure on fire. Like, just get out and light the whole damn thing up.
Why have you been so quiet?
Yeah,
I don't know
Tanya's actually here.
I don't know anything about this.
She just
I've never
watched.
seen any of the
I saw
movies.
The Conjuring last night, and that was pretty much the first horror film I've ever watched in my adult life.
How did you think the Warrens came off in that?
Well,
Tom, stop chewing the microphone.
Swallow those nuts.
Suck on them. Just
you don't have to be so noisy when you suck your nuts.
I just thoroughly enjoy it.
They obviously portray them in the movie very
tongue, less teeth.
positively, and that they're being helpful and that they're not deceitful by any means. Like they're saints. They are there to save them. That's how they're portrayed. That's how it's written. So I can't base any of my theories or thoughts off of one theatrical movie
Well, yeah, especially
because
a movie.
they can be. It's a freaking movie.
Out of Hollywood.
So-
Adulterated.
So obviously they're portrayed in that light, but I mean, I was kind of fascinated by. I never watched horror movies. Never. Like it's just never been my thing. It was fascinating. I watched it more for special effects, how they did the rigging and lighting, and that's all I noticed when I watched it. But
Did you want to know how the Warrens did it?
it was just.
It's like that movie,
I
the
don't know, it was
Paranormal
just kinda
Activity
like,
movie,
meh.
right? The first one where everyone's like, "This is based on a real true story," but it has an alternate ending. And I'm like, shut the hell up. I mean, like, it's all made up.
Clue is based on a true story, I think.
Yeah. So, oh
Lots
my
of
God.
different endings to that.
This
So
is,
I haven't spoken much just because I don't know a lot, and it's.
I've got a headache.
It's true. It's hard to speak against the Warrens right now because they've been kind of venerated by like a big part of this culture, right? But honestly, I was talking to Ryan earlier. I'd rather listen to anything Dan Aykroyd says than anything that came out of the Warrens.
No,
mouth.
absolutely. Dan Aykroyd's father was an alleged demonologist, but he never said that he was an expert.
Well,
That's why.
did he become rich from doing it? That's probably
No.
what lends credence to it, right?
That's why Dan Aykroyd wrote Ghostbusters as homage to his father. But just because you read a book or like the back of a book sometimes, it doesn't make you an expert in something. I mean, I understand that you can have copious amounts of knowledge, especially on one topic, but to say that you are the best at doing something it's like saying that someone's a professional ghost hunter, right? Or they're licensed to do it. No one is licensing ghost hunters.
Well, the problem is you stop becoming scientific when you start using yourself as a source.
Or at least the only source,
Right.
right? You can be like, I've experienced this. What have you experienced? And not, my experiences are better than your experiences.
Or what Bill said, just go along with it. You'll make a lot of money.
Right.
That just totally off topic, but I wonder if they're expertologists.
There has to be.
Like people that just study experts? Is there an expertologist?
Different expertises.
a know-it-allologist.
Yeah.
A master expertologist.
Yeah, the Nortney, you know, the Yeah, it's probably Cliff Clavin. I don't know.
All right. And another thing that I was...
Celebrity impersonation, not real.
So one thing that really stuck with me from one of my teachers was the moment that you think you know everything is the moment you stop learning. And when you stop learning, that's when you can no longer be better at the things that you're doing.
You've plateaued at that point.
Yeah. So to claim that you know every demon from every culture and everything that you've ever done, I mean, come on. No, the Catholic Church will never come out and say, this guy knows more than we do about the stuff that we do every day.
Yeah, that we've written a manual on and train all of our priests in.
Right. I mean, they literally have the Bible, which is a pretty good place to find information about demons.
Yeah, so this is the problem. You can legitimize that by backing up with what the Warrens say right on their website for the New England Psychic Reserve or whatever they run. They talk about it, how like in the Bible every 10th word has some kind of psychic word like ghost or entity or faith or evil.
Well, you know, when if you want to believe the Warrens and how they feel, you have to believe in God and the devil because that's behind everything they do. They say the devil is real, that God is real. In exorcism, like you're just reading from the Bible. And how is like somebody go like, oh, the Bible? Listen, if I go in someone's house and they start reading the Bible, they're gonna exorcise me out. I'm gonna be like, I'm out. You're gonna read me Bible verses? I'm gonna leave. That's how you exorcise somebody? You read from the Bible? Am I wrong?
Well,
is there a how to exorcise in the very back? By the way, if they're possessed by a ghost, turn to page 352.
Bring a raincoat for the pea soup.
That's another problem. And you guys, fuck you guys for bringing this up.
And before we get in too far, we are at 42 minutes. So if we want to save it for another show,
no, I'm gonna need like another 29 minutes.
Okay, because I would love to talk about exorcisms on a show.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So I say if you have
I'm
got
not eating any pea soup for
if
when we
you've
do
got
that.
things,
we're eating
let's
pea soup for
save
that.
it.
Yeah. If you got exorcism stuff, let's save it
I've
for
got that's what I've studied for 20 years. I know I have a lot of exorcism
That's
stuff.
the thing. Were the Warrens exorcists?
No, they were
So
douchebags.
what did they ever actually solve, except for like diagnosing stuff and sending you on to a specialist?
I'll tell you exactly what they solved. They solved their financial problems,
Yes.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
right?
Yeah, well, I guess you're right.
Okay. I'll stop with the exorcism thing because I will literally talk for another 6 years. But I'm stopping talking because I'm just going to keep going.
Any other final
Say something
thoughts
funny,
about
Bill,
Warrens?
so I can feel better.
Well, I haven't seen the new Annabelle movie. I will admit I've seen all the others. I've seen all the Amityville. You know, I will say real quick, Amityville Horror probably was the first movie as a child that scared the living crap out of me. And it was for one thing. When at the very beginning of the movie, where the brother goes crazy and shoots everybody, the whole family, I kept thinking one of my brothers was going to kick the door open and kill me with a shotgun. I kept thinking that was
Which
going to
brother?
happen.
Just name him so he knows.
My brother Keith. It was Keith. It was
Asshole.
my younger brother Keith. He was one of my twin brothers, younger twin brothers.
Fucking
but
Keith.
I always thought it was Keith. And the only reason I say that because I shared a room with Dave, and my brother Kevin just was like, meh. He was like kind of indifferent towards life, and Keith got really upset about stuff. So I could see that Keith was a little animated, Kevin was not. So even though they were twins, but I could see like Keith walking through just shooting everybody. But also Keith had buck teeth, and we called him Bucker. So
you
Keith had
pissed him
buck
off,
teeth,
yeah.
so we
Why
would
did
call
you
him
call
Buck.
him Buck Keith?
Shit. I need a time. I need a time machine now so I can go.
Just don't land in any fields. You'll make a crop circle.
Yeah, because we were four. We were four.
You were 4 when you watched that?
Yeah, that's messed up.
No, I was four.
What are your parents like?
I was
Hey.
4 when we called him that.
I used to watch Tales from the Crypt with my grandma when I was like 4.
Did she look like the Crypt Keeper?
No, but she would laugh like the Crypt Keeper.
That's awesome.
Right before bed.
Oh, all the time. She
Did
would
that
wait.
scare you?
She would no, but she would wait until I was almost asleep and then stick her head into the room real quiet and laugh like the Crypt Keeper and then shut the door.
We watched Salem's Lot, and then my dad went outside to smoke a cigarette and started scratching at our window. And my brother actually screamed so loud it hurt my ears.
Was that Buck Keith?
No, that's my brother Dave. He was older than me. We shared a room.
I was a wuss as a kid, man. Unsolved Mystery scared the shit out of me.
Oh, wow, yeah. I'm with you on that one.
It was the trench coat.
I watched as a kid. I watched like a Halloween night marathon of them.
Yeah.
And it scared
It's
the crap. Yeah,
terrifying.
it super scared the crap out of me. Robert Stack's hair.
I would still listen to anything he had to say. Better than Morgan Freeman. Robert Stack was like the Morgan Freeman of the era, don't you think?
They're on Hulu, I think.
I
should
know.
watch them.
I just watched them all again.
Which
Are they solved yet?
None
well,
of
a
them.
lot of them now. If you sit there, yeah, they're probably.
If you call the Warrens, they'll solve them.
Oh, Jesus.
For money.
Okay, perfect question. If they were so big on ghosts and proving that ghosts were real, why haven't they come back to try to prove to
I was
somebody?
going to ask you the same question because Ed's gone. He has been for a while.
Well,
Lorraine just died.
Ed died in 2006.
What, Lorraine? What? Sorry, that's been in my head all day. So it's for the Back to the Future.
Like, why isn't someone drawing pictures of their house with them looking out the windows?
It's the ultimate tribute, isn't it?
Right.
You know, we could make a movie about that. I know we're always talking about things we could make movies about. We could do a movie where the Lorraines, or the Lorraines, Ed and Lorraine Warren are haunting your house. And they just want money. You have to buy them.
And
They
they
have to give
only
them-
take Bitcoin.
Yeah, they take Bitcoin. They said, we filmed you in the shower. I don't know.
So that's how you exercise them? You put like one of those, like a coin on a string, and you just walk it outside.
Yeah, that's it. Almost got it.
Or like, have you seen the original Winchester TV? It was a movie called The Winchester House, and there was this guy. God, what was his name? Howard Dent, I think is what it was. But he took this crystal and he tied it to like a shoestring and was like swinging it around his head, and that's how he exorcised all the ghosts.
Is that just how he exercised?
Well, not exercise. That's how he.
Because there could have been
Richard Simmons.
miscommunication.
Richard Simmons came in and said, okay, everyone.
Exercising to the oldies. Demons, get out!
Okay, hold on. I love Richard Simmons.
I like Richard Simmons too. But
Okay.
like, I don't know if I'd go in and exercise the demon as Richard Simmons.
No,
Hot town, summer in the city.
when he was on Whose Lines Is It Anyway was the funniest episode I've ever seen in my
He
life.
couldn't keep up. He couldn't keep up with it, but he was crazy.
He was fat. He was amazing.
Yeah. You know, he was missing for a while. Like, people thought he got kidnapped.
That was a conspiracy theory. That was a whole
But
internet
he went,
thing.
yeah,
Hoax.
nobody knew where he was.
Yeah.
So did they find him?
No, he's fine.
What did they ask him where he was?
No, they just made up a whole story because it's like when you call somebody and they don't immediately call back, and then you're like, what could have happened to them? And then it becomes a huge internet sensation, and they're like, oh wait, never mind. He came out and said he's fine.
Oh, okay.
So he just had a retreat from public life, but he stopped making appearances in 2014, and then people thought, well,
He's dead.
he's been kidnapped, or
Abducted by aliens.
and actually, like,
Bigfoot.
they had to do a welfare check on him. The police did. LAPD had to go in and do a welfare check because they didn't know what was going on. And so he posted a picture of him on Facebook going like, hey, I'm not missing. But for a long time, they thought,
Likely story.
yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
I would go into a house to do a banishing or an eradication with Richard Simmons.
All in spandex. I would pay to watch that.
Oh, I would sweat like a pony.
Talking about my brother Dave again, real quick. He was in the audience with my mom for Ellen. They put them in the front row, and they didn't know why. Richard Simmons comes out and jumps in my brother's arms.
Oh,
Jumps in my brother's arms.
God, that warms my heart.
And my brother said he had glitter on him
I'm
after.
sure he did.
It still hasn't washed off permanently.
I got to find that.
You were
That
blessed by
episode-
Richard
They
Simmons.
recorded it. It's on VHS somewhere. You got to find one of 8 people in America that still have a VCR.
I have one that works.
I'm not
I
sure.
just
It's one of
got
7.
that like 2 weeks ago. I was super stoked.
By the way, a couple years ago, I was in Twin Falls, Idaho. I was in a Walmart. Don't ask me why. And because I hate Walmart.
'Cause it's
and
over
they
in
actually
Twin
had a
Falls?
huge selection of new VCRs. I was really like that.
What?
Was really yeah. Twin Falls, Idaho has the largest selection
It was like 7.
brand new VCRs.
It's like when we talked about making a ghost box, and you said, "Can we go back in time and find a Radio Shack?"
Yeah,
Do you remember
exactly.
Well, this stuff needs to come back, like, because VCRs always had the tracking problems that really screw with you and get you all scared, and then like TVs don't have that snow shit that was in Poltergeist anymore.
Or the Ring, right?
Right? That was all in that snow on the TV. That
Okay,
is
we're
the
gonna
thing.
do this in a second. We're gonna do this. We're gonna end it, but I want to end it with one thing because I want to talk about one thing. Because you brought something up. scariest horror movie you've ever seen. Tom, I want you to go first. What's the scary? You can say your favorite ghost horror movie.
Ghost horror movie?
But the scariest, your favorite one.
Only because I was so young and it left an impression. Pet Cemetery.
Ooh, that's a good one. Ryan.
No, come to me last. I'm thinking.
Tanya.
That's not fair. I've only ever seen one.
Was
You're familiar stories and things like that. You never saw Ghostbusters, things like that?
Well, yeah, like I saw, but I don't know if you recall a few episodes ago where I talked about I wasn't allowed to watch Casper.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, that was
My experience watching movies is very slim.
Have
just
you seen the
because I
new
hit
Pet
a point
Sematary?
where it's like I just was raised
to watch
that you don't watch these as an adult. It's not that I didn't want to; I just didn't think about it. So I don't have any scary movies. I mean, one
normally
time
avoid
I
them,
watched like
I
natural
love-
childbirth on YouTube, and that's probably the most terrifying thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Or like the ones that pop pimples.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's some
nasty.
weird stuff.
Why that don't?
I was
That's gross.
I was at a Jiffy Lube and it was the
They were-
Doctor Channel, whatever. I don't know what it was. It was like Dr. Oz, and after that it went to Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh god.
that's nasty. That's just gross.
I asked them, I
loves
was like,
that
you
crap.
have to change that. But yeah, they were just, that's what they do. And it started off as a YouTube channel. All right, that's not my scariest.
They get exercised right there.
Demon, come out. Oh, gross.
Ew.
And with the-
That makes my stomach hurt.
Does it?
Yeah, that's
All the
gross.
shit we've been talking about, and that's what makes your stomach turn.
Yeah, it's gross.
Okay, I'm gonna
Just
say
because
mine's
it's natural and it's real.
Yeah.
Poltergeist, the original Poltergeist.
Really?
God, that scared the crap.
It was.
The lady who exercised the
Caroline.
yeah, she is amazing.
I don't know.
Go into
in the
the
pool with all
light.
those skeletons.
By
That
the way,
scared the shit out of me.
those were real skeletons.
Yeah, those were real. That
They were-
scared
they
me
were-
more when you find that out.
Yeah, they were real skeletons.
And how many people died after that production? That creeps you out.
Yeah, it did because the little girl died. The daughter committed suicide after.
I think one of the cameramen.
I don't know. There was a bunch. There was a bunch of things they say, but I don't know.
What's your favorite, Ryan? Scariest.
Oh my god! You know what we need to talk about real quick? You know what we should talk about? King Tut's tomb and all the people that died after that, and if there really was a
Oh,
curse.
yeah, the curse.
We should talk about that.
That's a good idea. Curses on movies too, maybe.
Yeah, because there were a lot of
Ooh,
those
yeah.
curses, Hollywood curses.
Making
or whatever.
notes.
Oh, there we go. Producer Tanya is back at. All right, Ryan, we're gonna end this now with your favorite scary.
Manos Hands of Fate.
Manos.
Ooh.
Classic.
That's-
Which doesn't that just mean hands?
Hands.
Hands of fate.
Yes. The movie is equally as redundant.
And you have seen the Mystery Science Theater.
Oh yeah, Torgo's my favorite. Do you know he died? He killed himself
Yeah.
because he wore the
Leg things.
leg things wrong.
That's one of our friend's favorite pieces of trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
wore
what
it
he did? I
backwards.
thought he just was trying to make it in Hollywood and he couldn't do it. And-
No, he like wore those things backwards, and I think it put him in so much pain he became addicted to painkillers, and then that kind of ruined his life.
Yep.
Holy crap. And of course, the doctor was made by a dentist. So maybe he just got a bad prescription or something. I don't know.
More happy endings to come in the next episode.
All right, well, with that, so we talked about the Warrens and all that crazy nonsense. I'm glad we got that out of the way. We can.
Yeah, she just passed away, right? In
She just
April.
passed away this year, I think.
And with all due respect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel bad for your loss, but still.
Yeah, being a big person in the community is still, I mean, something to be said.
Yep.
You're trying to be sincere right now.
Well, no, because my ass is twitching.
My ass is twitching. You people make my ass.
Just people making my ass twitch.
They were not good people. They were not. They fooled a lot of people, and you know what? Maybe it was just they tried to be good at first. Maybe they didn't think they were causing harm, but they did. They caused a lot of harm, and they made a lot of money doing it.
Well, yeah, I think they're the reason that the premise for all of these ghost shows now exist, pretty much.
Well, yeah.
That sensational.
I think we should write a script where I did it again. The Lorraines, Ed and Lorraine Warren.
You should just call them the
Yeah.
Lorraine.
The Lorraines. It's two Lorraines. And Ed went to heaven, got a gender reassignment surgery. Now it's Lorraine and Lorraine Warren, and they're coming
Well,
after you.
Okay, we cannot assume his gender, dead or alive.
Yeah,
That is
about
true. I'm
James.
sorry. By the way, I assume they have. Well, they had a daughter in the movie. I wonder if they had kids in real life, and if so,
Yeah, they have a kid.
Are they into the paranormal? Because the
Yeah.
people I see that are in, like, they run this New England paranormal or something.
Yeah, he's into the paranormal, but I don't know much about him, so I don't know if he's followed his
in the royalty trade.
Because you could just say, "Oh, I see the auras that my mom sees," and you're going to make $100,000 a year
Oh, of course.
just doing that. Oh, I see auras too. Well, yours is nice
Well,
yellow.
I see the end of the show in the future.
Ooh, she's psychic. Oh yeah. All right. Well, with that, I was pretty excited to do this one because the second I brought it up in a text message, Ryan popped back up 3 seconds later and he goes, "Yeah, I got stuff to say."
I felt
Something
my
about a back
phone
dick.
just like warm with rage
Yeah.
as I read the text.
This is probably the most text we've had in our group text when we were talking about this. Is probably that one.
I became a swirling tornado of hate and teeth.
You know, I did some research prior to this, and I thought still, I really just need to hand the microphone to Ryan and let him go. So, all right. So with that, thanks for listening to Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. Thanks to all the mixed nuts that we had, and again, the Dragon Milk White Bourbon Barrel Aged White Stout was really good. I enjoyed this.
I did too.
It was really good beer. Go to our Facebook page. Subscribe to us on Stitcher and iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff. And leave us a message on Facebook or write a review on iTunes or I don't know.
Let us know what you think about.
The Warrens or anything else.
Tell us what you think. I don't know. Be our friend. Say something nice. You send us a sound.
I'm kind of lonely over here.
Tell us my hair looked nice. I actually wearing a hat today, so you wouldn't know. Just because I had to act today. I was working on a. I did. I was in a beer thing. I was in a beer promo they were shooting for a brewery that we're friends with. So anyway, I was an actor today. I thought, by the way, when they first
Do I have
contacted
to
me,
end the show for a third time?
I thought they were going to. They asked me if I was free to help them film something because I'm a filmmaker. I'm like, oh, yeah, I could help you film this. And later on, they're like, no, we want you to act. And I was like, oh, son of a gun.
So it was only really good because Bill was there.
Well, I directed it, but then I ended up directing it because I ended up telling him, well, I would do it this way. And I was like, sorry.
He's
They
the
go, no,
Warrens
no.
of the beer commercial.
I am. I just came in and they're like, we thought we had it under control. Then he came in and he hijacked it. He goes, for $100, I'll tell you how to end it. All right. Well, so with that, that's it. Subscribe and all this stuff. And thanks for listening.
Yep.
All right.
Have a good night.
Yep. Good night.
Bye.
That's the